and welcome to Sibos 2025 in Frankfurt. I'm Hannah Wallace, and joining us in the Finextra TV studio is Danny Green, Head of International Post-Trade at Broadridge. Danny, it's great to have you in the studio. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
And talking about a very interesting topic, I want you to bring us up to date with the trade markets. What are the biggest shifts you've been seeing, especially around T+1, and how is that impacting firms, particularly across international markets? We'll start there.
Yeah, thank you. And it's a question that's very much top of my mind, and one that I'm working with constantly, not only with our clients in the community, but also the market participants across Europe and predominantly more and more across Asia as well. So we successfully, as an industry, transitioned to T+1 in North America a short while back. Now we're planning for 11th of October 2027 is when across Europe we're going to be moving to T+1. And then there'll be dates to be confirmed, but then a continued rollout across Asia. So shortening settlement cycles are here right now in North America, and they're going to be happening across the rest of the world. So we've been focusing with our clients saying, beyond the need to be able to meet these changing market structures in terms of shortening settlement cycles, what actual opportunities and advantages are there that can come out of that? So it's not only an imperative that we need to be able to do this for the markets to continue to function, but also there's a number of efficiency gains that getting ready for T+1, then also thinking about where we could go beyond T+1, down even to T+0, and then finally thinking about what happens around digitisation within the asset classes within our world. There's a big emphasis saying we're not at the end of our journey getting to T+1, but it's the beginning. So how should we be reimagining our organisations as part of getting ready for T+1? So we're working really closely with our clients and the markets in general, talking about what we should be doing both from a technology perspective and also from an operational process in order to be able to be there and be ready to meet them demands way before these market deadlines hit.
So there's still work to be done, and interesting to hear how priorities have changed as well. Thank you for the update. So besides the structural pressures that we're seeing, there is AI. This is opening a lot of doors, making changes across the trade life cycle. Tell us, where are you seeing the most tangible impact of AI?
As a technologist, every conversation I go into around the globe always has some element of AI involved within that conversation. So it's certainly a hot topic. But in terms of where we think about it from a practical sense, what we've been doing at Broadridge as the early waves of our use of AI was how we use it in a safe and efficient way in the first instance. So how can we use the capabilities that AI is offering us, whilst doing that and doing it in a very secure way and very protective way around our data and our clients' data. So that's step number one. But I would say we've cracked that. We know how to do that. We're kind of beyond that. Then we start to relate it back to what we were just talking about. So as settlement cycles compress, how can we use that? And we've come up with some great use cases around how we can help organizations better use their inventory. So if you think about it in a fast-moving post-trade world where you've got assets in a number of different locations and you need to get them in the right location at the right time, actually using AI to help you identify what could be done there. We've found some really interesting things, and we're certainly working very closely with our clients on that. That's one particular area. Another area is the ability for AI to identify patterns that's happening within data, and specifically around settlements. The thing we're most interested in a shortened settlement cycle is how we manage the fails process. How do you, and looking at AI to say, can I predict that something's going to fail based on previous data patterns and so on? So I'd say inventory management and enhancing the ability for inventory to manage, and secondly, how we actually predict fails within the market. That's two really specific use cases that we're working on, both within Broadridge from a technology perspective, but very collaboratively with our clients, working out, is it giving it the right information that you need? You know, we talk about within AI, within the AI world, the kind of hallucination factor. And because we are using these capabilities on data that we have very carefully curated, that reduces by a large quantity the ability for hallucination to happen. So really seeing some very interesting stuff in that part of the world.
It's very exciting and really good to get a technologist's perspective on those tangible impacts as well. And of course, resiliency and preparation remain front of mind. They're still key priorities, which brings me to a question of balance. How do banks and firms balance that need for robust operations and security, as well as nurturing more longer-term innovations moving forward?
So, in the first instance, I would say the way to be able to balance both of them things, which are imperatives, must-have. We have to innovate because our market's changing around us, and we need to make sure that our clients can take the best advantage of that. So innovation is key. We have to innovate, we have to automate, we have to remove manual process from a day-to-day activity in order to be successful in future. That's given, that's mandatory. But it's also equally as important that we have resilient solutions from a cyber perspective. Then we look at how we truly have got 24/7 type solutions which are out there and prevalent within our marketplace, because T+1 extended trading areas, moving to T+0, all of these things are on all the time type solutions that we have to consider. In terms of the balancing act from them, it is all around picking and making sure that you work with the right partners, because trying to balance both of them and being an organization of one is difficult to do. If you're part of a wider community that's doing that, then you have far better opportunity to succeed and innovate at the same time, is what I would say. And speaking with my clients at the moment, when we're looking at changes that are happening within the market, what we're specifically saying is there's functional changes that's happening. Let's not forget the non-functional requirements which are coming out as part of that. For example, they could be from the really basic side of things, that when you're at the moment with your compliance and risk teams, what's the benchmark of how quickly you're allowed to fail over from your primary to secondary? At the moment, that's at a certain tolerance level. Should that bar be lifted on the basis that we're having a much more dynamic business that we have to contend with in the future? So I would say, to kind of end on that, is make sure you work with a great partner that has the same values as you, that says, it's really important to innovate, whilst at the same time, it's really important to stay secure and resilient. So find the right partners to work with within the industry.
Thank you very much, Danny. Yes, you're right, there is a huge amount of change, so it's good to get your advice. The key bit being partnerships, I think. Thank you so much for your insights. Really interesting to hear what Broadridge are doing in this space as well. I'll let you get back out there and share it with the rest of the delegates, but thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for your time.